There are a fair amount of seagulls currently circulating around here, as they are wont to do after games at Oracle Park. And for my purposes, I don't enjoy that, so I'm going to try to knock this out as quickly as possible. To peel back the curtain a little bit in regards to beat writing, in regards to covering games specifically, I don't think it should come as any surprise that for some publications, mine included, a story is required the second a game ends. And if you're thinking, Justice, how do you write a story when the game is going on? It gets a lot easier to do when the games aren't close. And whether it's a Giants win, whether it's a Giants loss, if it's by 4, 5, 6 runs, regardless of whatever the case may be, those stories are generally easy to write because if it's, 6-run game going into the 7th inning, statistically speaking, the team winning is going to hold that lead. The team losing is not going to come back. On the flip side of that are the close games, the 1-run games, the games where there's a comeback. Those are the games that are always the most stressful because you have a story, you have an idea of a story, and then it can get flipped on its head just like that. And there have been a fair amount of instances this year, not just this year specifically, but just in my time as a writer, where you almost have to write 2 stories simultaneously depending on, for example, if a team is winning in the 9th inning, if they hold that lead or if they blow that lead. And I say all this to say that today wasn't just one such example. The last 6 days have been 6 such examples. The Giants have played 6 consecutive 1-run games. They've played the most 1-run games in all of baseball. And their 15 1-run wins are the most in all of baseball as well, including today as the San Francisco Giants beat the Atlanta Braves 3-2 as Matt Chapman hits a walk-off 2-run homer in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Giants down to their final out. Elias Ramos sets the table with a single with 1 out, and following Wilmer Flores' pop out to foul territory, Chapman just scrapes one over the left field wall. And as we talked to Chapman after the game, he said that when you hit one here, you never really know. And off the bat, you could kind of get the sense that it was going to be a homer, but when you have Eli White, the Braves left fielder, trying to track that ball down, running towards the left field fence, and then scaling the left field fence, it is far from a guarantee that that ball is going to go out. It hung in the air for about 5.5 seconds before landing in the left field bleachers, giving the Giants the 3-2 win. It comes after they won 5-4 yesterday when Tyler Fitzgerald scored the game-winning run in the bottom of the 10th inning on a wild pitch after being picked off in the bottom of the 9th inning to send the game to extras in the first place. But going back to today's game, they have now won 4 consecutive games since the roster shakeup on Wednesday, of course, that being Lamont Wade Jr. and Sam Huff being designated for assignment, Christian Koss being optioned to AAA Sacramento, and in their place, Daniel Johnson, Andrew Kisner, and Dominic Smith Johnson and Kisner being promoted from Sacramento to the Major League level, and Dom Smith signing a Major League deal. And Chapman's 2-run homer in the bottom of the 9th inning today saved what was looking like it was going to be another tough luck loss for Logan Webb, another example of the lack of run support that he's been able to get in starts, at least consistently this year. And a number that I was looking into, and the number has changed, but of any starter, or of every starter on the Giants staff, rather, that has made at least 5 starts this year, Logan Webb by far has received the fewest amount of run support. I think the number shakes out to about 3.3, and then the second fewest from there is Landon Roop with 3.8. Every other starter, that being Hicks, when he was in the rotation, Robbie Ray and Justin Verlander, those 3 have received at least 4 runs of support on average on days that they started. But Logan Webb had an outing where he went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs, one on a solo homer by Michael Harris, the other when Marcell Ozuna beat out a bases loaded, potentially inning-ending double play in the 6th inning, but struck out 10 batters, the 4th such time that he has done that this season, walked no batters. He is now tied with, let's see if I remember this part, Carlos Rodon, Kevin Gausman, and Madison Bumgarner for the most instances in a single season of striking out 10 or more batters and walking 0 batters in a single game. There's your statistical word salad for the day. He's up to, here's one's a little more simple. He's up to 101 strikeouts on the season. That is tied for the 3rd most in all of baseball with Garrett Crochet. And I think I mentioned this in a previous video. I for sure wrote about this in a previous article. But Webb has said in the past that he doesn't really consider himself a high volume strikeout guy. When you look at the numbers from 2022 to 2024 specifically, I think it shakes out to about roughly 8 batters per 9 innings, but through, I think it's now 14 starts this season. Not only is he on pace to going to the Midsummer Classic for what he's done ERA-wise, he's thrown the most innings in all of baseball, but he's been arguably the most dominant that he's ever been at the major league level, and that's especially saying something given how well he pitched, not only in 2023 when he finished 2nd to Blake Snell in the Cy Young Award voting, but going back to 2021 as well when the strikeouts were more a part of his game. I think he struck out about 9 batters per 9 innings that year in particular. Going back to yesterday, I'm not going to detail the entirety of yesterday's game. If you would like to read more about that, go check out yesterday's article. But a couple notes from yesterday as far as pregame. Justin Verlander threw a live bullpen yesterday. I believe he faced 4 hitters. It was in the range of 35 to 40 pitches. And the next step for the Giants is determining his next steps. Yeah, that's not really giving you a lot of information, but that's the whole thing right now is kind of figuring out which option in particular that the Giants need to select. Kyle Harrison threw a bullpen today as well after taking that grounder off the left elbow, being diagnosed with the left elbow contusion, and I definitely mentioned this in a previous article as well, how once Verlander returns to the starting rotation, Harrison is the most likely to go from the rotation back to the bullpen. As I've mentioned previously, it's looking like it's going to be a bit of an odd year for Harrison, especially after pitching the 2nd most innings last year, after making the 2nd most starts, that being 24 starts and 124 and a 3rd innings. And if he does go back to the bullpen, if this is the route that the Giants decide to take, they're going to need to figure out the best practice possible for his long-term development, because they still do view him as a starting pitcher, but kind of given the state of their rotation, once Verlander is healthy enough to return, there simply aren't enough spots for Harrison, despite the fact that, again, the Giants do view him as a starting pitcher long-term. One other note as well that was announced pregame on Friday is that Willy Adames will be receiving a scheduled day off tomorrow. Bob Melvin didn't officially announce who was going to be starting in Adames' place, but it'll likely be Casey Schmidt. He's currently the backup shortstop and kind of the backup everything infield-wise, has the capacity to play 2nd base, 3rd base, and has played 1st base as well, despite picking that position up just earlier this year. And of course I have to get into the really weird incident that happened in the bottom, or the top of the 4th inning rather, of yesterday's game, where the bases are loaded. Sean Murphy hits a line drive to Mike Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski fields the ball, throws home, trying to throw out, I think it was Olsen tagging from 3rd to home. And as that throw is coming in, another ball comes in from the very top deck of Oracle Park, and to my knowledge, the person who threw the ball has not been found. Presumably, if that person is caught, I don't know the standard protocol, but in my opinion, that should be something close to, at the minimum, a 1-year suspension, if not a lifetime ban, just given the issue of safety. And I will say, there was also that Reddit thread that was unearthed after that happened, where someone on Reddit posted something to the effect of trying to settle a debate with my friend, can somebody throw a ball from the upper deck to the field? Which, I mean, to be honest, let's be real, if you've ever played baseball before, it's not that hard to throw from section 315. So that leads me to believe that the person who asked that question does not know ball and has not played ball. It's really not that far, even if you stand at the very top. I mean, I guess if, you're trying to get your momentum with the stairs, but like if you're in the hallway and you get some momentum, it's not that hard to do. Please do not do that. It's really dumb. There's absolutely zero benefit. It's one thing if the opposing team hits a home run to the stands and you want to throw it onto the field, go ahead, but don't be dumb. Don't be stupid. That's my message to you today. Don't be dumb. Do not be dumb. It's really not that hard. It costs absolutely nothing to not be dumb, to not be stupid. I'm going to end the video right there. Have a good night.